Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to Authentically Being Ava. I'm Ava. So family, I'm going to get right to it. I seen a few posts on Facebook with men talking about how women are becoming more aggressive. I wanted to chime in on that, basically saying how, like in relationships, women, I guess, they're just more aggressive than they used to be. Yeah. There's so many ways that can be taken. There could be so many reasons why that is. And I want to discuss that because every situation, relationship is completely different. And it's hard to pinpoint exactly what's going on. A lot of times when you see an end result, which is a display of someone's anger, that isn't the full story, of what is. I mean, it probably shouldn't have happened, things shouldn't have gotten escalated to where she's blowing up. They could have been handled a different way prior to that. Things could have been discussed better. But, I've noticed that people tend to look at that as the whole problem. The end result is what I'm saying. The end result of what you see. Like, for instance, when you see something on the news, like you see a story of some guy that lost it and went and chopped about the whole family. Okay, that's extreme and it's horrible and gruesome. But a lot of times people just look at the end result and be like, oh my God, he was crazy. What was wrong with him? He must have had a mental problem, all of this stuff, right? But people don't look at the full picture, like, what drove him there? What happened? I mean, police detectives and forensics, all that, they do all that stuff. They kind of go into try to piece together what could have happened. But people don't always exercise that in other areas of life, like for instance in relationships. And when you see that something's happened or somebody's popped or lost it, you just automatically like, oh my God, look at what they, I mean, yes, you do take that into account, what happened, because it's happened. It's a result of whatever, their anger or whatever. It's a result, an end result into an action. And unfortunately, sometimes people are pushed there. But like I said again, you have to look at all the extenuating circumstances. Look at where we are today in the world. I'm not giving out passes to everybody or to women because they're women or to men because they're men. It's just, you have to kind of be objective and look at the whole thing, because there could be a lot of reasons why. Like, we know that men are being feminized. We know that. And therefore, when you have an imbalance like that, you're going to see, I believe, the opposite in women, because it's yin and yang. It has to be a balance. If it's not balanced, it's going to be off. Okay? If you see it's off with women, well, then it's off with the men. That's just where I am with that. But two, I wanted to add this. And some men may get mad at this, and I don't want you to, because it's just something to consider, something to look at. Maybe it's an area maybe where you haven't maybe looked. But when I hear about, I've heard men and women say this, but a lot of men mostly, how some women are so aggressive now to where they won't let the man lead and all of this stuff. And I want to say this, that not all men can lead. When we think about a lot of households, that are raised by single parents, and you have a boy that doesn't have, the right leadership there, not in all cases. He could still have an uncle and all that could probably could help balance things out. and that could be a whole nother story. But in a lot of cases, there is no male figure there. So there's a lot of things that these young men who are now grown men, didn't get. So when you're asking them to lead and then they can't, it's like, well, then who leads? And no one's talking about stepping on nobody's toes, but when you have a situation where you have a family, where you guys are married, and, there's a situation where you guys are going to sink or swim. It's like, okay, if one can't lead, then the other one's going to have to jump up in there and try to do whatever they can to help float this boat, so that you guys don't have money taken away from the household because of, some bad decisions. So I wanted to pose that thought or that concept, like, not every man can lead. And then that can be a problem in itself, because as a woman, and it's not always in anger, that a woman will come to a man, her husband, let's say, and express things like, hey, hun, I don't know about that. Like, let's talk about this, because I've, kind of been through something similar, and I don't know if that's the best decision. Sometimes men want to be that role model. They want to be that leader, which is and what they should be, because that's how things were designed. But like I said, in all cases, they are not fully capable of doing that. So then when you have your spouse step in and want to discuss things, and then she's like, he's like, hey, I got this, and then she steps back and is like, okay, I'm just, and then things go to hell in a handbasket. Look, I'm just saying. And so then, where are you then? Because that's one bad decision, and then begets another one, and then another one, and then now all of a sudden you have this woman who's angry and mad and aggressive, and then now you want to say, ooh, she's so aggressive. But you have to look at what happened to lead her to that point. What's going on in that household? Are they on one accord? Is the man able to lead? And two, this all stems back to women as women. We have to, vet the men. You have to be able to know without a doubt that this man can lead the family. So you have to vet him. Family counseling, that's a great idea before marriage. I would advise it. I'm just saying, I've been there, done that. Okay, so, but yeah, this is just helpful advice, and I'm not saying I got the book, and all this stuff, and I know, but I've been there, and I've seen what it looks like when there's a fail, so I know in turn what to do the next time around. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to pose that, family, because I've heard, like I said, a lot of conversations, and I'm like, I'm not hearing all possibilities. I'm hearing a lot of blame, but it's like, are we like really looking at this thing objectively, across the board at both sides, because I believe there needs to be some more questions asked. Sometimes, in addition to that, men don't want to go through therapy. That could be put on the table, and let's get somebody else, a third party, in here to look at this and can give us some advice, instead of it, seeming to him like I'm, pointing a finger or trying to be, aggressive. I believe most women want the man to lead. I've seen what a healthy relationship, a long-standing relationship looks like, with my parents, and seeing her let my dad lead. So I saw that. So I have an example. So it's not like I'm like, oh, well, I don't know what it looks like, but I know. Like, no, I've had an example. And it was, it was a great teacher. So I'm saying that moving forward, you gotta, have both willing parties to want to bend and learn and grow together, and as a couple. So family, I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't some women out here that are aggressive. There probably are. They should be, because we have the complete opposite with men. So, It is what it is, family. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you got another perspective on this topic from this discussion. And if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section. I'd love to hear them. Please like and share and subscribe. And I will see you on the next time. Bye-bye.